The body in room 348. On the evening of September 15, 2010, Greg Flanagan checked into the MCM Elegante Hotel in Beaumont, Texas. A landman by trade, someone who negotiates rights to drill for oil and gas, he was a methodical, quiet man. Married to Susie, he kept to his routines even while traveling: a steak dinner, a bit of TV, a candy bar, and a smoke before bed. When Greg didn't call Susie that night, she wasn't immediately worried. But the next day, he didn't show up at work and calls to his room went unanswered. Hotel staff opened room 348 to find Greg lying on the floor, fully dressed, his wallet and cash untouched. At first glance, there were no obvious signs of struggle or violence, no blood, no bruising. The local authorities assumed a heart attack or stroke, but the autopsy told another story. Inside Greg's body, the medical examiner found a shattered scrotum, lacerated liver, broken ribs, and a hole in his heart, injuries usually seen in high-speed car accidents or violent assaults. But on the outside, his body looked almost untouched. At first glance, there were no obvious signs of struggle or violence, no blood, no bruising. The local authorities assumed a heart attack or stroke, but the autopsy told another story. Inside Greg's body, the medical examiner found a shattered scrotum, lacerated liver, broken ribs, and a hole in his heart, injuries usually seen in high-speed car accidents or violent assaults. But on the outside, his body looked almost untouched. The case stumped everyone. No forced entry, no weapon, no defensive wounds. No enemies? Desperate for answers, Susie hired a private investigator named Ken Brennan, a former D agent and NYPD detective. Brennan flew to Beaumont and met with Detective Apple. Together, they combed through Greg's room and timeline. They noted odd details. The air conditioner was set to high. Greg's cigarette pack and lighter were on the nightstand as if he'd just finished smoking. A small patched-up hole was found in the wall of the adjacent room 349. They learned that on the night Greg died, 2 oil workers, one of them named Lance Muller, had been drinking heavily in room 349. Brennan theorized that a bullet could have come from that room. The bullet, traveling at high speed, could have passed through the wall and hit Greg as he stood or lay unsuspectingly in his room. It turned out Muller had been playing with a 9mm pistol while drunk. A shot was fired accidentally, and instead of checking next door, they patched the hole and concocted a story to hide what had happened. The bullet had struck Greg in the groin area, ricocheted inside his body, and caused catastrophic internal injuries before coming to rest in his heart. Greg had enough time to stagger and collapse before dying alone on the carpet. When confronted, Muller eventually confessed. He was charged and sentenced to prison for manslaughter and for trying to cover up the crime. Greg's wife, Susie, never stopped pushing for answers. Without her insistence and Brennan's dogged investigation, the truth might have stayed hidden, chalked up to natural causes. The case is a chilling reminder that even deaths that look ordinary can hide horrific truths. It also underscores the power of careful observation. Noticing a patched wall, a missing bullet, or the smallest detail can change everything. Room 348 at the Elegante Hotel remains infamous, forever tied to the tragic, senseless death of a quiet man who just wanted to relax after work. Subscribe for more.